Good morning, everybody. It's the 20th of December, 2024, 4 days to Christmas Day, and I've just finished my 1 hour exercise. Today, I have done 7,494 steps, equivalent to 7.1 kilometers in 61 minutes, 30 seconds. So I have walked much faster. Today, I was pretty lazy waking up. 6 o'clock in the morning, my grandchildren, they came running into our bedroom. My wife had already woken up at that time. She wakes up very early. And they insisted on switching on all the lights and saying, wakey, wakey, coming and, opening my eyes and say, Babu, wake up. Yeah, that's the joy of having them around. You cannot be lazy. So they climb onto the bed and they start telling me stories. Usually, they either sleep in our bed or after they are fast asleep, I have to carry them. And they're pretty heavy. The younger one, she's almost 18 kilos, and the bigger one, she's over 30 kilos in weight. So, Sikidogo. Anyway, so I just want to go back to high school a little bit and say that, Kisumundogo, where we live, Kisumundogo, Maweni, where we lived, was the slum next to the posh estate of Nyali. And our houses were mainly of wattle, mangrove, and mud. And more often than not, the roofing was makuti or iron sheets. Ours was iron sheets. And from a very early age, my mother mostly, she would send me, go buy makuti, go buy cement, go stay with the foodies until I come. My father would do the same thing. And for a very long time, for many, many years, I had a very poor relationship with my mother. I never knew that my mother was teaching me financial management. I never knew my mother was teaching me construction, which has become a lifelong hobby. I love building. This is all due to my mother. And I never realized that until the latter days of her life, say about 5 years to her death. That is when I came to terms with what my mother taught me as a child. At that time, I thought my mother was really cruel on me. She would beat me up. She would stop me from going to the beach with my age mate. She would stop me from going bird hunting, from collecting wild fruits, for me to mind the shop, for me to go stay with the construction people at the construction site. She taught me all this. Yeah. So when we could, I would join my friends and we would go walking in Nyali towards the beach. And we later on made a lot of friends, especially with the Halwenge family, who became our lifelong friends. Edward Halwenge, Steve Halwenge, Pamela Halwenge, Rose Halwenge, and other Halwenges. That clan is still there. The younger Halwenge, that is Edward Halwenge Sr., was the managing director of the East African Cargo Handling Services, and James Halwenge, who was the elder one in Bath, but was the junior at the job, was the deputy managing director of East African Cargo Handling Services. They both lived in Nyali. These are our friends, together with the Mwidau family. Mwidau was at one time the mayor of Mombasa. So these friends of ours, we aspired to lead the life that they were living, and we thought, they were living heaven on earth. And those are the kind of friends we have. Let me come back now to my job. As I said, that I was employed as a lab assistant with the East African Marine Fisheries Research Organization, which was towards the tail end of the East African community. IAMFRO, that is East African Marine Fisheries Research Organization, was one of the research institutes of the East African community. So I never left that job. And I progressed with that job to be who I am today. So this is one of the lessons that I would like to impart on you, my listener, you, my viewer, you, my reader, that however humble your beginning is, you determine by yourself the heights that you will reach. So 1976, 77, the 77, the Islam community broke up, as you might know or you read in history books. And then early 1978, I was transferred to Kisumu, to the Kenya Marine Fisheries Research Organization in Kisumu. At that time, the research institutes had been reconstituted, and there was the East African Marine Fisheries was reconstituted to the Kenya Marine Fisheries Research Institute. There was the Kenya Medical Research Institute, and so on and so forth. So I went to Kisumu, and even in Mombasa, it was party after party. We used to party, we used to club Fridays and Saturdays, go to Casbah, which was the place to be, Bristol nightclub, Sunshine, and other places. That was a life. And so what do you expect from a 17-year-old boy going on 18, or 18 going on 19? By the time I was transferred to Kisumu, I was 19-year-old in 1978. And so 1978 was a momentous time in my life. That is where, when my father died, 1978, September 2nd, when my mother had gone back to Mombasa to sell one of our houses for me to go to the US. I never did. So that is the story for next week. Bye for now.